Alright, here we go. Pizza Hut classic. Just like when I was a kid. I knew that we were coming to Pizza Hut. This whole dine-in retro version here. So I figured putting on Tremors last night kind of made sense. I wanted to put on something from that era, you know. We're in, where are we? Homosexual? Homosasses? Kids just got done playing Pac-Man. They enjoyed it. So we watched Tremors last night. So this one's got Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon and Egg from Big Trouble in Little China. Right? But it kind of starts out where they wake up together on the desert, like just Brokeback Mountain.
No breakfast? I did it yesterday. It was bologna and beans?
No, it was eggs. I did eggs. Over easy.
So before Brokeback Mountain came out, are they hooking up? Oh, because they wake up and they're like, oh, he didn't make any coffee, so he's being like a bitch. And then they're like trying to smoke. They're smoking cigarettes, so obviously they just banged. So they want like, you know, like, and I like, of course he didn't make coffee. They just woke up together. I think he would have noticed if Kevin Bacon was off making coffee. Kevin Bacon's like, I made beans and bologna. So they definitely were a couple. And that's why when the chick came in with the buck teeth, Fred Ward is kind of like, hey, you know, what's going on here? Because every time Kevin Bacon was like kind of getting a little cozy with the girl, Fred Ward was always just kind of checking it out, like, hey, maybe we should like throw a little threesome in the mix here.
She's a slut. Bang.
And they're sitting down and Fred Ward's kind of like smoking a cigarette and he's sitting back and he's just watching Kevin Bacon and that chick sitting at the table and he's kind of like, you know it. You know I like to watch. So I don't know what kind of situation's going on there, but they probably should address that. Or maybe in the prequel, or when they were younger. Like Tremors, the Midnight Special Edition.
You know, I love the title, but the movie just left me limp.
Or Fred Ward gives Kevin Bacon the Tremors every morning. Or maybe that's what it was supposed to be. Maybe Tremors is like the name of an erotic novel about two gay men in the throes of love out in the middle of the desert with giant phallic worms exploding all over the desert scenery. Well, I think that's what it is. So I got to the bottom of it. Egg gets eaten, like full on ate in his own place. It's kind of sad. No one's safe.
Wouldn't have happened if Jack Burton was there.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened if Jack Burton was there. He said they had to low rent Jack Burton's Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. Which they didn't even bother really to help him either. Like, oh my God, he's being eaten. But they just kind of like, I can't reach him. I mean, I guess I could have jumped off and like, I don't know, helped him in a different way. Then he had that girl. I've never seen the girl before. Kind of an odd-looking person. All right, so Tremors starts with seismologist. Okay, so she's out there because there's like Tremors. Name of the movie. Actually, this pizza tastes really good. This is kind of how I remember it, with the flavors. So a seismologist comes out because there's like all this disturbance, right? She thinks that there's earthquakes, but they find out soon enough that it is not earthquakes. It's something under the ground. And at first, like the first people who are killed, they think it's like large snake, right? And then they find out that the large snake isn't large snake. It's like it's genticles.
These aren't tentacles. They're genticles. Ew.
In the movies, it's really not very gory except for when they kill the worms. Then it's gory. You get worm guts and stuff, but there's really no gore as far as. So in that respect, it's kind of family friendly. Seems like it's obviously trying to be Jaws, but in a campier sort of way. But totally effective. I mean, I think the difference between this one and Jaws, though, is like obviously Jaws is a classic, but you actually care a little bit more about the characters. In this one, they just kind of drop off like flies. I don't think you're really rooting for anybody or really surprised if anyone gets killed. No one ever uses a pogo stick, but they're like, how are we going to get this little girl to be in some sort of danger? And mind you, they already knew at this time that it came out from under the ground, huge vibration. They're like, where's your daughter? She's like, it's outside playing on the street. Probably hoping for a insurance payout. So it's got the guy from Family Ties playing a survivalist. But he's prepared pretty much for everything except for an underground attack. So the first one crashes through the wall, pretty much kills itself. The second one they killed with shooting it with the elephant gun, right? Mr. Family Ties and his wife. And then the third one they threw dynamite in. I remember Tremors being kind of a big deal, but I don't remember it being like a crazy big movie. I just think it was kind of more of a cult classic, right? And then it spawned a bunch of other movies. Of course, Kevin Bacon went on to be a huge star, but Fred Ward is more of a character actor. He's been in quite a few things, but I think he never really broke out until like superstar stardom. I think the closest he ever got was they tried to make this movie called Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, and that's one where he's being trained by some little Asian dude who at the end of the movie walks across the water like one of those lizards. You know those lizards that can walk on water? Anyway, that's what he does. But the movie didn't land. It didn't turn into something that really launched his career. But it has a good cult following. It's got a great poster. Hanging from the Statue of Liberty. It's pretty cool. So, I mean, Tremors isn't anything you could talk about for like 45 minutes. It's a pretty simple, cut and dry movie. Kind of a Jaws ripoff, but under the ground with worms. So, if Jaws and Dune had a baby, but it didn't have anything intellectual to offer, then I guess that's when you get Tremors.